Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Welcome to the middle of December, and it is minus 17. The wind is absolutely brutal today. And this is going to be a short video because I already can't feel my face or my hands. And I'm going to do my annual get your dogs ready for the winter report. And it's going to be a cold one. As you can see, jackets on all three of the dogs today, and I often get that question, should I put a jacket on my dog? And the answer is, I don't know. That depends on your dog. I'm sure a husky would be fine out here today without a jacket. Ollie, my little Jack Russell Chihuahua, he gets a jacket at around 10 degrees Celsius, whereas Chickpea's good till about 0, and then Penny, around -5, even she needs a jacket. So it depends on your dog's coat type, their tolerance for the cold, that kind of stuff. Just keep an eye on your dog. If your dog looks like they're cold, they're shivering, well, they're cold, put a jacket on them. Also, on a day like this, I am doing a 15-minute walk. Normally I walk the dogs for about an hour in the morning, but today we're going to get maybe 3 15-minute walks. They're going to be short because it is absolutely just too cold to keep the dogs out here for too long. Even with gloves on, my hands are already freezing. As far as booties go, I don't use booties. I've talked about this many times. I use paw wax on our dogs. So your dog's paws are pretty good in the cold, down to around -25 or so. But what they do need some protection from is the salt. So that's why you might want to get out there and put some paw wax on your dog's paws to keep the paws from drying out and cracking. Whew. Other than that, short walks on these days, and I'll let the dogs out for a run in the backyard a couple times today. But yeah, when it gets this cold, there's nothing we can do. You can't fight Mother Nature. At least today the sidewalks are dry and it's an easy walk. Man, once the winter really hits and the snow is everywhere, it gets slippery. Also, here's a little side note. Maybe you want to consider getting some traction devices for your boots. I just had a client last week that was pulled down by her dog and she got injured. So that's something to consider. Once it gets icy, if you've got a big, strong dog, make sure you've got the right training collar and some training for your dog so they don't pull. But boy, oh boy, if your dog pulls you on the ice, you could go down, so be very careful. Well, at least the sun is shining today, which tends to happen when it's this cold. But yeah, get yourself ready for the winter. Get a little bit of paw wax for your dog's paws. Get your dog a nice jacket for when it gets this cold. And you're going to have to modify your walks. Come on guys, over this way. You're going to have to modify just how long you can stay out on a frosty day like this. All I can say is stay warm. Try and get your dog some exercise, but be smart about it and don't push too far. Nothing like getting too far out in a walk and realizing your dog is too cold, they're limping or something, and now you're like, how the heck do I get all the way home? So what I've even done on days like this is just walk around the block 5 or 6 times. That way, if it gets too cold, I can just stop walking around the block and just head right into the house. Is that boring? Very, but it's safe on a day like this when it's just too cold to stay out too long with your dogs. All right, I can't feel either of my hands. So I'm going to end the video here. Hope everybody's going to have a great holiday season, and I'll see you in the next video. One more thing I forgot to mention, as I think my brain had even frozen outside. If you're using a collar with plastic clips, like I have here on Ollie's collar, be very careful. If your dog pulls, these plastic clips can break very easily in this temperature. With Ollie, look, he's only 6.5 pounds. He doesn't pull, so I'm not too worried about this breaking. Plus, if it did, he heals without a leash anyway. He'll just walk alongside me. But if you've got a dog that pulls and you're afraid that if the collar ever broke, your dog might get away, might want to look at getting a steel clasp collar for your dog to make sure that in this weather, the plastic doesn't get too brittle and break on you. Oh man, that was a rough one, guys. Everybody's safe and warm and back inside. All right, let's all try and get through the next few months of winter and hope for an early spring here in Ontario.